Hi everyone, so I'm just making a quick video on a recipe that I've been dying to try with the weather changing and it getting colder out. I've been craving something like really hearty and delicious, but obviously still wanting to stay on track. So I'm making a 3-bean turkey chili, and as you can see right there, I have about 1.5 pounds of ground turkey that's been browned, and I added to that, while it was browning, a teaspoon of garlic powder, onion powder, and then a little bit of salt and pepper. So right now I'm just cooking my onions up so that they're translucent. It takes about 5 to 8 minutes on medium setting, and you want them to be relatively clear but not crispy or burned, because we're going to add this to the chili. So stay tuned, and I'll show you what else I have going on here. All right, so I transferred the caramelized onions to a pot so we can mix everything up. And to that I've added our browned turkey. And I have my setting on low, so even though it's still sizzling, it's not going to overcook the turkey and then dry it out. So we're just going to kind of stir that up really quick. And then over here I have 3 different kinds of beans. The recipe that I found does call for black beans. I didn't have any on hand, so you can basically use whatever you want. In this one I have red kidney beans, chickpeas, and white Italian beans. So I think the white Italian beans are going to go over really well, just because I don't use tomato paste because of the sodium. So the white beans are soft, they're kind of mushy, and it'll help kind of thicken everything up. And this here is 1 regular sized can of strained diced tomatoes, not the Italian kind, just the regular kind. And I strain out the juice because we're also going to add, excuse my shifting over here, we're also going to add some regular tomato sauce. And the great thing about this is that it doesn't cost that much to make, and you make quite a bit of it. So you can have it for lunch the next day or whatever. You can add corn to this if you want to and make it like a turkey chili if you want. But for me, I can't eat corn because I do have diverticulitis, so I can't really eat the corn. And it's also got a lot of extra carbs and it's not really digestible. So I choose to leave that out. So I keep my setting on 2 or low, whichever you prefer. And then in here I have just a basic chili seasoning, which is a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne powder, or pepper, excuse me. I just had a brain fart, sorry. It has a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of paprika, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, about 1/4 of a teaspoon of coarse ground black pepper, and then a few pinches of sea salt. So we're just going to throw that right on in there. And see, I just got home from work, so I don't want to mess around with a whole lot of stuff. Here we have a little small can of green chilies. We're just going to throw that in there. And so you don't have to be Julia Child or, you know, whatever the case may be in order to cook up something delicious and everything. So we're just going to give this a quick stir around. Like I said, I'm trying to do this fast because I just got home from work. I want this to taste really good. It's still going to take about 1/2 hour to simmer on the stove. You don't want to stir it around too much just because you don't want to mash all of the beans, but some mashing is fine. So then now I have 2 cups of chicken broth. So I'm going to add that to the pot with all of my seasonings. And again, those beans are going to help thicken it up. And then we add the tomato sauce. Now, I did buy a big can of it. It's a 29-ounce can. I just kind of guess here. I'm using about a cup and a half, because it is going to cook down, and I don't want it to be all watery when that happens. I like a thick chili. If you like it a little bit thinner, by all means, add the whole can. And then if you want to use the tomato paste, you can, to just kind of, you know, thicken it up as you like, as you go along. You might have more time than I do to make this. For me, my husband's on his way home. He should be here relatively soon, and I want this to be all hot and fresh and have the house smelling good. So that's really it. We're gonna go ahead and put a lid on this. And, you know, just for good measure, just a little pinch extra of salt and a little pinch extra of that coarse ground pepper. He likes his spicy, so you don't have to do it spicy if you don't want to. We like a little bit of heat down here in the Southwest, though. So we're going to go ahead and just let that simmer up. And, you know, because this isn't a slow-cooked meal, I am going to turn the heat up just to about a 4 to about a medium, just to get it simmering a little bit. And once it simmers, I'll turn it down. So we just leave that there, and then we can walk away. Once it's done, you can top it with whatever toppings you like: cheese, sour cream, avocado. You know, if you wanted to serve it over cornbread, you can. If you're doing low carb, by all means, you know, take that out. Also, if you're on low carb, you can substitute cornbread for like oopsie bread or something along those lines. So anyway, that's all for now. I hope you guys are having a good night. Bye.